Welcome to Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris right here, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The Phillies are trying to make it a game in Toronto after another disaster with the fifth starter. We've seen enough of Taijuan Walker. We've seen enough of Tyler Phillips. There's an Eagles game coming up this Friday. We will break down the schedule. We'll talk about the game, all of that, and a little bit more, maybe a good top 10 tonight too. We'll be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Now that you know where you can reach Bobby and myself, and you know what you need to be eating while you're listening and watching all the shows here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and you know what to do if you're sending out any invitations this time of year or any time of year. Bobby and I are back. Eagles game Friday, Bobby. this going to Brazil seems to have a little bit of a problem to it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to Brazil, and the players aren't happy about it. The Eagles players especially. I haven't heard much from the Packers camp. You don't hear them talking about how much they don't want to go, but the Eagles, seems like across the board, no one's happy about this. They don't want to be put into this situation. They're not bringing their families. It's pretty much a business trip. It's going to be they're going tomorrow, coming home right after the game. It's basically a money grab for the NFL. It's that's all it is. It's them trying to reach a new viewer, fan base. And I don't think it's the right choice. It's not the right time. I just hope nothing goes wrong as far as the player safety and the fan safety, because it's like walking into a hornet's nest. I mean, there's nobody down there to protect people. So I don't agree with it. I know you don't either. I know a lot of people don't. So let's hope they get through it and get it over with, basically, because that's the way they feel about it. Get it over with.
We've talked about this before, and another reason to not agree with it is taking a home game away from the Eagles, which is ridiculous.
It is.
Well, I guess if you want to look at one of the positives, I mean, there won't be too much roaming around and you have to just stay in your room and focus on the game. No one's going out and doing anything. I mean, but if you have players going to a venue and they're concerned about their safety and other things, I don't know. I guess maybe it's too late, but pulling the plug wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Well, I think it was too late. Yeah, like you said, it was too late. They already have the TV cameras down there and the crews. It's all set up. They have to do it now. The one thing I didn't like was that the NFL security advised the teams not to walk around holding cell phones. They have guys down there that are going to steal cell phones from 6'5" athletes. They're going to. I don't think you're walking up to Lane Johnson and saying, "Give me your cell phone."
Well, and it's interesting because the guys on the team, the guys covering things, there's no X to be able to be used because the government down there said, no, we're shutting this down. So
did you see what the fine? The fine is $8,874 a day.
Whew.
How are they going to catch them?
How are they going to force them to pay it?
Right.
I mean, seriously, that's true. That's a good point.
People from all over the world are using VPNs and setting them to Brazil just to mess with them.
You're going to see Darius Slay getting taken off in handcuffs during the second quarter.
Yeah. They won't let the plane leave the airport until they pay the fines.
Gee. I didn't look enough into it, and I probably should have. Did you see anything posted or any articles or anything why they chose Brazil? Like you said, of course, it's a new market. It's right. South America.
It's South America, yeah.
But
I think their goal was to eventually play on 6 continents. Yes, everyone except for Antarctica, of course. And they'll probably do Australia next.
Well, if Metallica can do a concert on Antarctica, then I don't see why you couldn't play an NFL game there. Well, maybe an NHL game. You never know.
Yeah, we'll send the Packers. We'll send 2 cold weather teams.
Now that I mention that, though, Metallica played a concert on Antarctica, and they have a song called "Trapped Under Ice." They didn't play it, but that's a whole other side. Yeah, my thing is, though, when I think South America, I don't think of NFL professional football, soccer.
Right.
Of course, soccer. And I know they're trying to expand. I mean, I would think Major League Baseball would have I guess the people in Brazil are going to come out to watch because it's a spectacle. But I would think Major League Baseball would have tried down there maybe before. But, hey, I'm just
baseball opens their season in Asia. So, I mean, why can't the NFL do it? They'll probably have a better reception in Asia than they would in South America.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much they're going to push in the future to have a team that's not in the United States, whether it's a team in London or what are you going to do? Have the Rio de Janeiro Sharks or something like that, or Waves or
Trevor joins us on the message board. 6'1" Jays, now it's 6'3", and the Phillies got the bases loaded. What did I tell you? What did I say before the show? What did I say the score would be?
I'm trying to see. I guess that was. I don't see. I just missed it. Who grounded out for the Phillies with the bases loaded? But yeah, they're trying to make a game of it. I was wrong when I thought that, or maybe not though, but I was thinking before that they should have gotten Chris Bassett, and he could have been their fifth starter. But they went with Taijuan Walker, which really didn't work. And now that we'll just mention this real quick, and we'll go over the Eagles' schedule here in a minute. But what could possibly have been the reason why they didn't go get Zach Eflin when he was available?
They thought they were good. At the time, this Tyler Phillips looked like he'd be something. And they were really mistaken, because he's not going to pitch again in the majors after tonight. And they're in trouble. What do you do from here?
Well, I guess they have to wait until, I think it's the 10th or the 11th, and I guess Colby Allard can come back up.
Oh, yippee.
Yeah, I know. That's a 5-inning thing, and if you got to have if you got to have a start in there where it's just an opener, I guess you have to do it.
I mean, it's bad. And Ranger Suarez has not been good either. He's been
no,
terrible.
and he's not. I don't think he's going to be good. I don't know if it's injury. I don't know if it's the fact that, I mean, his first start back was good, but he's a guy. I mean, I was really wrong on him, because I never thought he'd make it to where he is now, because I just didn't think he threw hard enough, and he doesn't.
He doesn't. But he does at times. Once in a while, he'll mix in like a 96. Like, I don't know where that comes from.
The same way with Nola, who I don't want to forget to mention here. I was against them re-signing Aaron Nola, especially for all those years. He's been really good.
He has.
He is frustrating at times, because there's always that home run ball waiting. But last game it was a solo, and
I think he's actually the type of guy that can show up for the bigger game. Like he knows how to produce in the bigger moments.
I hope so. I mean, it was impressive over the weekend what they did, taking 3 of 4 from Atlanta. When you look at it that way, it was impressive.
Yeah, it was.
The offense wasn't impressive. The pitching was able to shut down an Atlanta Braves team that's not good.
Yeah, they're not the team we thought they were, obviously. But the thing that I don't like is these Taijuan Walker, these Tyler Phillips starts, these have allowed us to fall behind the Dodgers. And if we would have just got a nice veteran pitcher, like you said, Zach Eflin at the trade deadline, we'd be set. Even if they would have went 5-5. I think they're like 0-10 in Walker's and Phillips' last 10 starts.
Yeah,
if you split those games, you're the best team in baseball still.
Yeah, you could be falling behind the Brewers as well, because they don't seem to lose.
I don't get that part. I mean, we've made fun of that team for 2 years now. I just don't see anything impressive about the Brewers. I don't like them one bit. They don't scare me one bit. Hopefully we get them. Yeah, Maddox joins in, and he's reading my mind. Call up McAble at this point. You got nothing to lose. I agree with you, Maddox. The rare time I agree with you, Maddox.
Well,
I agree.
Here's the thing: the Phillies aren't going to do it, because then that starts his money, and they don't want to do that. Which is,
they spend $600 million on payroll. They're worried about one guy's money.
Yeah, I know. It just makes no sense.
But it's okay. They could call it Weston Wilson, though.
True.
I mean, they pick and choose. I agree with you, Maddox. Bring up Abel, see what he's got. He can't be worse than Phillips or Walker. Nobody can.
Can't be. And what I said before we came on, as I look up now, I mean, this would be a good game to throw out there, Jose Alvarado, and see if everything's kind of getting right with him. But he's in now
already.
We'll keep you posted of what's going on with this Phillies game. 6-3, bottom of the third. So, well, if you had the over in the game, you've already won, because the over was 8.5.
Yeah. You think we're looking at another 15-14 game between the Blue Jays and the Phillies? 1993.
This one won't be as important as the other. As that other one. Yeah, people were talking today about games against Toronto, and I remember back during the COVID shortened season, I think they played Toronto in Buffalo. It was a doubleheader. They lost the first one. They got 7 runs in the first inning in the second game, and I believe they lost 8-7.
Yep.
7-inning games. So that I remember most recently. But so Friday night, the Philadelphia Eagles, they will play in Brazil against the Green Bay Packers. Nobody will be wearing green, but I don't know. I saw those Eagles uniforms. They don't look bad.
I haven't seen them.
It's where I believe it's black pants, white shirt, green with not green, black
Yellow?
lettering, and the helmet's black.
Okay.
So it's different. It's different.
All right. Well, we've talked about the game, the Brazil, this, that. Let's actually get into the game. I'll start off. We'll start off with Eagles on offense, pretty much. It's a new offense behind Kellen Moore's motion offense, which they're going to run, which none of us have seen. It's going to be all new to us. It's going to be new to them. Expect some rust, guys. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to start off like a well-oiled machine. They do have the players. They have Saquon Barkley, who I'm really excited to see. They have A.J. Brown. They have Devontae Smith. They have Dallas Goedert. They picked up Jahan Dotson. That's a nice pickup. Make him your number 3 receiver. Got a lot of weapons. They still have a good offensive line. They still have Lane Johnson. They still have Jordan Mailata. And they have Cam Jurgens at center, which is going to be a tough adjustment for Jalen Hurts, not having Jason Kelce calling the signs, calling the blitzes. So Jalen Hurts has to learn that. He says he's ready. He says he's excited to learn it. We'll see. Packers, they struggle a bit on defense. They picked up a couple nice players on defense. There's going to be mistakes on both sides of the ball. There's going to be broken plays. That's a result of the preseason, of not playing in the preseason. As far as the Packers go, they scare me. I was on the Big Cheese Sports with Bernie this weekend. Thanks for having me on there.
Check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, and those guys were praising the Eagles, and I was praising the Packers.
Right.
They kind of treat the Packers like we treat our teams. Like they were critical. They said that the Eagles are one of the teams in the league that they actually think has a better receiving core than them. The only issue I had was the Packers are deeper. The Packers have 4 wide receivers that can go for 100 yards any week. They have Watson, Jaden Reed, Ontavian Wicks, and they have who's the 4th? Come on, Romeo Doubs. So they have 4 receivers that can go off. The Eagles don't have 4 guys that can cover those 4 guys. That's going to be the problem.
Well, the defense. Yeah. I'm expecting unless the Packers are rusty.
The Packers are young. The Packers are young and they have speed. The Eagles have a 34-year-old Darius Slay. Who's he covering? Not Jaden Reed. And then you kept James Bradbury on the roster, and then he's hurt.
Right.
So, hopefully Cooper DeJean can hop right in and be a player, a second-round pick. You would expect that. And then it makes Quinyon Mitchell just as big. Fangio loves Mitchell and what he does. We haven't seen him play much. Apparently, he's really good. He's done a really good job on Mitchell, on AJ and Devontae in practice. So they praise him. They say he's a player. That's a nice find. If he turns out to be a Pro Bowler, you get a guy out of a small school like that, and Quinyon Mitchell, that's going to be a good find. Let's just hope he stays healthy and picks up the offense. He'll have his moments where he gets beat, but everybody goes through that.
Yeah, my big question going into the game is going to be, can the Eagles outscore them? I don't know.
I picked 38-35. I said last second field goal. I said whoever has the ball last is going to win. Both guys I was on with both picked the Eagles. So a lot of people are picking the Eagles. I actually like the Packers in the game.
Yeah, me too.
I think they have too much offense. I think they have a little more on defense than we do with Xavier McKinney and a couple good defensive tackles that they added. The Eagles, a lot of question marks on defense, with Jordan Walker and Jalen Carter in the middle. They have so many new names I have to get used to. And they actually added Bryce Huff too, and he's another question mark. Bryce Huff. So
I'm just hoping we're not sitting here on Friday night and Phillies are going down to Miami, so that could be good for them or bad. We've seen that September games in Miami, and then you're watching the Eagles game, and by halftime it's 24-3, and it's like, well, turn the page on this one. So we both have week 1 a loss for the Eagles.
Pretty much.
Week 2 they come home on Monday night. So
right, they get a lot of rest. That's on purpose.
And they play the I don't know how you would want to determine, but they play the Falcons. It's the new Falcons.
And by then, I don't know who the Falcons, if they're going to go with Cousins or if they're going to go with the rookie name, please.
Oh boy, because I'm thinking they're going to go with Cousins. I didn't even think of it.
I sit here and I have his card here. Penix, Michael Penix. Maybe they'll go with some kind of in and out type of deal where he plays on third downs and running downs. I think that should be a win. I'll give us a win there.
Yeah, a win. Then the Eagles have to go on short rest to play the Saints.
Who's their quarterback? Derek Carr? I mean,
yeah, I guess.
I hear this guy, Jake Hayner. I mean, it's always tough, though. It's a road game. They always struggle there.
Yeah, I have it as a loss.
I don't know. That's a toss-up right now.
I just think Brazil, a lot of days off, a Monday night game, short week. That's
tough.
That's a trap game. I mean, if they were going to Carolina, I may give them the edge, but almost anywhere else, I think that's going to be tough. After that, let's see. After they play the Saints, the Eagles then are on the road again.
That's not right. 3 road games out of the first 4 weeks.
Yep, against the Buccaneers.
A place where they've absolutely struggled, and they were lucky to come away with a win there last year. They lose that game.
Kyle Schwarber now with a total of 10 bases tonight as he hits a home run. The Philly special, though, the solo home run.
6-4.
Just like you said it would be. Yeah, I had that as a loss, so I haven't 1-3.
I actually think they lose that game in embarrassing fashion like they did in the playoffs. That's goodbye, coach.
Well, it could be, but I see them 1-3 here, and is that, like you said, is that going to get the coach out of there? It's definitely going to be pushing the panic button in Philadelphia.
Say they go down to Tampa Bay and they lose like 41-7 after coming off an ugly loss in New Orleans. Kellen Moore will be the head coach.
Yeah, you're right. Then they come home on the 13th of October. So I guess that's a bye. They have a bye week then.
Yeah.
Could you see them go into a bye week 1-3? That's how I have it. And then after the bye, they play the Browns. Where
at? Here, home, I assume.
Yep.
A Browns team that has a really top 5 defense. That's probably the best defensive player in the league. A guy that was voted best defensive player in the league by his peers in Myles Garrett. It could get ugly.
I actually think after the bye, some things get straightened out. Now, if Sirianni's going, they're going to lose that game for sure. I mean, if not, I don't know. I mean, I actually think though they beat the Browns in Philly. If this was in Cleveland, it'd be a different story.
Okay.
After that, they go to the Giants.
W.
So that would be a W. Then, wow, that's a lot of road games here. Then they go to the Bengals.
I mean, that's a top 5 quarterback. I mean,
in that game, that's a loss.
They're not beating the Bengals. Yeah, they're not beating the Bengals.
Then they'll come back home, and this is a Sunday night game. Wow, against the Jaguars.
At home, Trevor Lawrence will struggle on the road. That's a win.
I agree. Then after that, they go to Dallas.
God. Jen says Miles is ready to eat some birds.
I believe it.
I hope he's hungry. So they go down to Dallas. That's a loss. You know the history there. They never win the primetime games in Dallas.
Yeah, that's a that's a Sunday afternoon game, but still, it'll
be the 4:25 national game.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll lose that game.
Then they come home and they play the Commanders.
Okay, that's a win.
That's a win. Then they go to the Rams.
That's about as tough a schedule as it can be. I mean, it's crisscross of the country. The Rams don't have Puka Nacua. I think they have a decent run game. It's a tough one. They've played good out there. The Eagles. They've beaten them out there. How come they never come here? What's the problem? They don't like Philadelphia.
I don't understand. Half of the stadium's filled with Eagles fans anyway.
Right, but it seems I think we've gone there the last 2 seasons.
It seems like it.
Yeah. That's a toss up. What do you think? What do you have it?
That was the Super Bowl season. That's where Carson Wentz got hurt, right?
Right. So
I mean, just from past experience, and at this point, you never know how many teams are going to be banged up or what's going to be going on with them. But at this point, I'd say they win that one.
Okay, what's that have us at?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
5 and 6.
Yeah, I think so. No. Oh boy, I didn't count it up that way.
I lost. Yeah, I stopped counting too when I was
here. Okay. Well, go ahead and write this down. Loss, win, loss. So
1, 2.
Yep, loss. So 1 and 3.
Right, we said that at the break at the bye.
2 wins makes them a 3 and 3.
Right.
A loss and a win, 4 and 4. A loss and a win, 5 and 5. A win and a loss, so that's 6 and 6.
Okay.
And
5 games to go. We're 500.
They play the. I think I went one over there.
And
so
let me add, at 6 and 6, they'll probably be in first place.
Yeah, because I think the one game here that I had as the loss that I counted here was the next one. We didn't talk about the Ravens game. That's a loss. They're not going to go into Baltimore and beat them.
No. Yeah, that's a loss.
So I believe that makes them 6 and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. The Steelers come to Philadelphia.
That's a win.
Yeah, they'll beat the Steelers. The Cowboys come to Philadelphia. They come on the 29th of December.
I guess you got a split.
Yeah, I don't think I missed any games in here because there's only one left. So it's the Giants and the Eagles, the last game of the season.
Wow. We didn't do a second Commanders game.
Let me see here. That's right. After the Steelers game, I'm sorry, on the 22nd, it's the second Commanders game, and I have that as a loss. At Washington, I have it as a loss.
I don't know. I don't know what they can do on offense that they can scare us. I have to see Jaden Daniels play in order to know for sure.
The last 2 games, the Cowboys and the Giants, I have them winning those 2.
Well, that Cowboys game could be for the division and possibly a playoff spot. So that's going to be a huge.
With it being in Philadelphia, I mean, I think that helps. That makes them 10 and 7 in what I have.
That's about right. I can't argue with that.
That should win a division.
Yeah, it should. It's a terrible division. You're only playing against the Cowboys in reality. That's the only team that threatens you at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are on the bandwagon of the Commanders. I've seen some also in the NFC on the Cardinals. I mean, I don't know.
Are you wearing a Commanders hat?
No, that's a Columbia hat.
Okay. It could have been a Commanders with the. I'm wearing a Giants shirt.
That's his Pat Burrell jersey, and yeah, I think 10-7. I think they win. They have a chance with that to win the division. Now, if they slip up, probably they'll lose a game we thought they should win. They'll win a game we thought they should lose, like going to Baltimore, and somehow they'll win that one. And
and injuries. Of course, one of these teams you're going to play. The quarterback will be out for the year. It's going to be a totally different game. And that always happens.
Now, before we take a break here, real quick, and I might be putting you on the spot. If you want to wait till after the break, you tell me. Who is the Super Bowl matchup this year?
Green Bay and Houston.
Really?
That's what I've been saying. I have to stay with it. I know it's going to be hard to beat the Chiefs, of course, but I think Houston is loaded. Houston is just absolutely loaded on offense.
I agree with you. I mean, it's probably some good money on that one.
I think it was like the odds were like 45 to 1 or something like that.
Oof,
plus 4,500, which is pretty low. I mean,
now I want to take the 49ers because I mean I just think even though there's some turmoil there, I think they're good enough. But I know when you lose the Super Bowl, we've seen what happened with the Eagles.
Yeah, you don't go back.
Yeah, it seems like you don't go back. The Packers are a good choice. There's no one else there I can put anything. I can't think of putting on anyone else. So my pick is the Buffalo Bills against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, can't argue with it. I mean, Buffalo's always close and can't get over the hump. I don't know if they have enough on offense.
If they got to play the Chiefs in the playoffs, it's over.
Yeah,
If they can somehow miss them somehow.
They would need the Bengals to knock off the Chiefs in an early round game.
Or
That's the only team. Houston would have to play well enough to get the home field advantage. I think nobody's beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead. And
look at this too. I mean, look at the division the Chiefs are in. They've already won it.
Yeah, it's the Chargers.
It's over.
Yeah, it's already has the X next to them.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Phillies, what they've done, what they're doing tonight, and where they're headed. Some NASCAR and the top 10. We'll be right back. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of the sports, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Phillies game is 6-4 right now in the top of the fifth inning, 1 out. Phillies losing 6-4 in Toronto on their scheduled loss day. As we went over before, anytime that fifth starter has to appear, it's kind of their scheduled loss. But like we kind of touched on, taking 3 out of 4 from the Braves, hopefully that buries them in the division, and the Phillies will be winning the division. Like I said, it wasn't so much of the offense doing anything. I mean, they did just enough in those 3 games to win. Rangers Suarez struggled, but the Braves just aren't that good of a team right now.
No, and the Braves are in danger of not making the playoffs.
With the push the Mets are making, you're right.
Yeah, they're all over them. I mean, the Mets could pass them. I could see it. And they play each other, so I mean, that's going to be a huge series between the Mets and Braves. Let's hope they beat each other up and split those games and make it much easier on the Phillies.
Phillies have the Mets 7 times coming up.
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
Could be.
A lot, that could be some losses. But what wasn't a loss is you just hit, right?
Yeah, I know. How about that? You know, the parlay hits right as it's in the fifth inning. I mean, it was.
What were
all
the
those
odds on
numbers-
that? What was that plus? What plus 5,000?
No. I wish it was only plus 1,300. That was even with a little bit of a bonus. Yeah, I mean, I think tonight against Phillips, most of those guys were like minus 220, minus 300 to get hits. So
Okay.
it wasn't much. I mean, I guess they thought they could hit him.
Here's a little problem. Once again, the Braves are playing a bad team. They're playing the Rockies.
Yes, they are.
They're going to pick up a game tonight. I mean,
Yeah, you would think.
all that beating them in that series, you're just going to give one right back.
Well, and the Mets should pick up a game too, aren't they? Playing the White Sox? No, they're not. No, they're playing Boston.
Nah, they played them this weekend.
Yeah, they swept the White Sox. They're playing Boston now.
Yeah, welcome all our new listeners. We've had about 30 people join us, 33
Thank
people. And our third episode here on StreamYard, our 178th episode overall. So we're closing in on 200. It's going to be a 200th episode coming up before you know it. That'll probably be towards the end of the football, around Super Bowl time.
Yeah.
Yeah, be around Super Bowl time. Yeah.
The question I had for you was: any concern that Harper's not able to hit the ball out of the ballpark
Absolutely.
anymore?
There's concern with Harper. It was power struggle because it says he has a bad elbow and bad wrist. And we have another guy that's missing, Alec Bohm.
Yeah, that and anytime the Phillies tell you it's going to be day to day, just put down he's going to be on the IL.
Why don't they just do it? What is the delay here?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I mean, you would think if it was like a little thing bothering.
I see the cat behind me. The cat's tail looks like it's part of your head.
Hi, Mr. Treats. That's Copper, but I call him Mr. Treats. Bone came down with a hand injury. He was
it was on a swing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I guess nothing's broken, but if you have a sore hand, can't grip the bat.
Yeah, it's a big deal in baseball. It's not good. It's not good. I just how many games are left? I usually have all this information.
Yeah, I'd have to look real quick. It puts Nick Castellanos in the 4-hole, and he's actually been their best and most reliable hitter recently.
He has, but he still doesn't walk. His on-base percentage is still .303. That worries me.
I didn't realize he had 4 walk-offs already this year. Wow.
Now featuring the staff's son.
Right. That would be the cat. And we already touched on Ranger Suarez. So those are my 3 big question marks. I mean, and Estevez looked good against the Braves on Saturday and Sunday. I don't know how he'll look going forward. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's all we can do is wait and see. And we're going to face Max Meyer this weekend, my favorite pitcher.
Wow.
We're going to see him on Sunday. He's struggled. He struggled big time. He hasn't been able to locate, and he's been getting hit hard.
Well, bringing the Phillies to town can cure that easily.
Yep. No hitter.
Oh boy, let's hope. Sosa. Oh, at least that's a foul ball. Phillies have 2 on with 2 outs, and Edmundo Sosa's up. He's down 0-2 in the count. So,
did Taijuan Walker pitch? I saw during the break that he was coming in for the 4th. Was it true?
It was. If it was, I didn't see it. I think Alvarado was out there. I could be wrong.
I thought that was the 3rd.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Maybe he did come in.
I think Sosa was. Walker was so good we didn't even notice him.
Yeah, I didn't even look up to notice him.
Yeah, he pitched 1 inning, no runs.
Oh.
There he found his calling, reliever.
Maybe. The only problem with that is now if you think he found his calling, he'll be used in one of those high leverage spots. And
yeah, in the playoffs.
That could be an issue. You know how the manager likes to do that.
Yes. Before I forget, I actually watched a Chris Amos recommendation movie. And I'm mad at you because you wasted 2 hours of my life.
Which one?
The Neighbor.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it.
Yes, it was a slow burn, and yes, you knew what was coming, but how they built to it, I thought was really good. Unfortunately, like you said, you're probably going on the fact that it just ended abruptly.
Well, I was actually amazed that he almost conquered the chick without kidnapping her. I thought he was going to end up tying her up in the basement.
Well,
that was a surprise.
Yeah, I could get your point on that one, but I really liked it. I don't have a recommendation for a movie this week for you. So,
well, I actually watched Cobra Kai season 6. The first 6 episodes came back. I watched it in one sitting. It went quick. It's not as good though. It's kind of slow. They're not really doing anything. They're only coming up with who's going to be the competitors in the big tournament. Like, we didn't already know which characters you're going to use. Come on.
As Edmundo Sosa strikes out on a pitch he couldn't have hit if he had a canoe oar, but that's all right.
But everybody loves him. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, and the Phillies made it a game. The Phillies made it a game, so Thompson will say they had fight after they got there.
Yeah, we showed a lot of grit. They'll give up 3 runs one of these, and before you know it, you're going to see Garrett Stubbs will be pitching in this game. And we have a staff recommendation: blink twice. Blink twice. I've heard of that one. Isn't there another one? Don't be afraid or something like that. Have you heard that one? Don't be. I think that might be in theaters. They were talking about that one today.
It's called Blink Twice. Yes.
That is the one.
Twice yesterday. That's the
okay.
one. Yep.
And apparently there's a Ronald Reagan documentary as well.
Is it one that's covering when he got shot?
I'm sure they talk about it.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. I have the book he put out, the Reagan Diaries, where most days of his presidency, he wrote something down about what went on and some of his feelings about it.
Okay.
Very, very interesting. If
the presidents do that now too. It's called Twitter.
or it's called Truth Social. If you're a candidate, yeah. Exactly. No, I watched something that has interested me for a while, but Netflix had come up with a new I think it's 3 episodes on the Scott Peterson, Lacey Peterson murder.
I watched it. I've been watching that story for 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. And
what's your opinion? What's your opinion on it? We never got into it.
I've come to the conclusion I could argue both ways. Obviously,
we know that the argument for him doing it. What's the? I've had scenarios both ways. What's your scenario for the not guilty? Who did it?
Well, that I don't know. I mean, there was some strange stuff going on in that neighborhood with some robberies.
Right.
I don't know if it came out that much, but what did come out recently about the next day, a van being set on fire with a bloody kind of a mattress in the back of the van that really, and I think what happened was, and I think this happens all the time, and usually it's right, but it shouldn't happen this way. The police focus in on one guy. Once they get to a certain point.
Yeah. Well, the police caught the robbers. They caught those guys.
And they said they ruled them out.
They said they ruled them out because they said that they didn't do it. They were like, they said they didn't do it, so we ruled them out. They said they would never do something like that.
Well, they said they had alibis. Well, wait a minute. They're already robbers.
They admitted they robbed the house, but they said they would never kidnap a woman. Oh, so we ruled them out.
Yeah.
They just took their word for it. Lifetime criminals. Captain Chris, true con mineral.
Look, I've said this a million times, and you can pardon my language here or whatever. Just because a person's an ass doesn't make him a murderer, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it. Circumstantial evidence, though.
Well, here, my wife has a theory too that says there's no way he did it. How did he pick her up?
Yeah,
she weighed close to 200 pounds. I mean, he couldn't have done that by himself. Dead weight? There's no way. If he would have lifted her in the boat and dumped her in the water, the whole boat would have capsized. It was a small boat.
And he had to have her. Well, you got to think about this too. He had to have her in there with 4 anchors, which is what they were claiming, to anchor her down. So that adds another 200 pounds.
And he's not a big guy.
They showed during the trial where the demonstration with the boat would have capsized, but they didn't let that in. as evidence.
Why not? How do you not let it in? That's kind of important.
I don't know. And my thinking too was, if I still don't get the motive, other than the fact that he was going to be with another woman who already had a kid. So
that's what made him guilty. The Amber Fry. I mean, if it wasn't that was the whole problem.
Well, and what also led me to think that he didn't do it was the issue with the dog, and the fact that the dog was found wandering around with its leash on. He was that smart.
The detective said he put the leash on the dog and opened the door. Yeah, he said he thought of that.
He was, that's okay. Well, he didn't. Well,
this is Philly Sports Talk, folks, and guess what? Nobody's left, so I think people are also interested in this topic.
Yeah, I mean, if he was that smart, I mean, there's a lot of things on YouTube still for me to go over, and this LA Innocence Project, why they took the case hasn't officially, they've taken it, but why officially, I'm not sure. There's more of it just to look into. But that was.
And how'd he kill her?
Nobody knows. I mean,
you can't do it. They couldn't do an autopsy because her body was so.
Yeah, and the issue of the baby, the issue of the baby being alive longer than what would have been if it would have died on the 24th. That was interesting as well. I don't know why Garagos didn't hammer that more, but I think he did. I think he did a poor job. But then again, I think once Amber Fry testified, they were putting him away. They were putting him away no matter what. I said this before. If Lacey walked in holding Connor in her arms, they were still putting him in jail.
But plus, who tells the police where he went fishing? Why would he lead them to where the bodies were?
He gave them the receipt.
Yeah, somebody dumped. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the most unsolved mysteries of all time, I think. Even though they say it's solved.
Yeah. Well, at least he's not getting the death penalty. That was overturned.
Right.
What'd you think of Darlington this weekend?
I wasn't entertained. I
wasn't either.
I was absolutely shocked at the winner. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I saw him. He had good times in practice. You know, when I looked at for you, I just dismissed him. I said he's not going to win Briscoe. I don't see him winning. He won. It shook everything up. I thought Chris Buescher was going to cry after the race.
Well, and I was thinking maybe that Kyle Busch would be able to push him a little more than he did. I don't know if it had another 10 laps. I still don't think he would have been able to get ahead of Briscoe. But no. Hey, Briscoe will be in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens from there. I mean, they go to Atlanta this week, which is always a fun track as well. Yeah. Chase Elliott. I like Chase Elliott there. I think he runs good there. I've been saying Logano, and then this week he just faded early. He faded early, and Truex wrecked early. So once Logano's not up there early in the race, forget about him. He doesn't. He usually shows his cards early. If he's up there early, you know he's going to be a competitor. He had nothing. Apparently, we got to take another break, according to staff. Yeah, and we will. And we haven't mentioned the Flyers, who will be starting some camp and everything. And with Mitch Cobb there's not really anything to report on the Sixers, but we'll take a break. I have a really interesting top 10. I'm interested. We'll have it right after the break. Stay tuned. You got it.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris. IE Sports Radio seems to be adding new shows, new cities almost every day. If you're not checking out IE Sports Radio on a daily basis, you are definitely missing out. So make sure you do that. Bobby, here is the top 10. And before we get to that next week on the show, if we run out of time here real quick, we'll see how the Phillies have done the rest of the week. Hopefully they can come back in this game as Taijuan Walker has pitched 2 innings. And NFL season has started, and we'll see how the Eagles and Packers game turned out there in Brazil. Top 10 for tonight. Current Major League Baseball players who have the potential to be in the Hall of Fame. The top 10 current players who potentially will be Hall of Famers.
I like it. These are my kind of subjects, you know that.
I do. And obviously we're going to do the other sports in weeks to come, but that's letting you do some homework. This time it's right off the cuff.
Okay. For some odd reason, the first player that comes to mind is Nolan Arenado. I don't know why the heck I think of him first, but I think they say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But
really,
yeah, I have to look at his numbers. But
yeah, check out his numbers because I don't have him on the list.
He's one of the best defensive players.
Yeah, and he was a guy who a lot of people in Philadelphia wanted the Phillies to trade Alec Bohm for.
I have to look real quick. He has 1,800 hits.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's not that old. So I think 340 home runs, 1,800 hits. He's only 33. I think I might be right. He might end up with like 2,500 and 500 home runs.
Yeah, when I sat down, I mean, I made this list off the top of my head. I didn't look up numbers. I didn't look up stats. I just thought, okay, if someone threw this out to me, who are the 10 players I would name? He didn't come to mind. But no, that's why we do this.
Right. Obviously Miguel Cabrera.
Well, I don't think he's playing. I think last year.
Wait, really?
Did he play this year?
I don't. Obviously, if I'm wrong, life goes by faster than I'm thinking here.
I don't know if he played for the Tigers this year or not.
Okay. Why am I thinking it's his farewell season?
I think that was last year.
Jeez, I have not watched one Tigers game.
You know, to mention it, the Tigers right now would be a playoff team.
Yeah, I know. They were coming on strong.
How did that happen? Yeah, Genway's in last year was his last season, but he's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. It
took 178 episodes for me to make a mistake. Okay.
Well, it happens.
All
hey,
right.
Look, us not being up on the Detroit Tigers lineup.
All right. Obviously, Bryce Harper.
I have him number 5 on my list. Yeah.
Jose Altuve absolutely has to be a Hall of Famer.
I thought about him too, and you know what? No, I didn't put him on the list because I think these other guys have a better shot. Not saying he won't get in.
Okay.
I'm saying he was a guy who I rolled around in my head and said no.
I'll name the guy that probably made you think of this subject, Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander's number 2 on my list. Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, a pitcher or a hitter?
Hitter.
Freddie Freeman.
He is on the list at number 7.
Ohtani?
Ohtani is on the list at number 8. Yes, it's early, but all indications are.
Right. Let's think here. A hitter.
Let's see
Also-
here. Let me see. I have 1, 2. I have 2 hitters and the rest are pitchers.
Thank you. I'm trying to think of veterans. There's not that many guys current that have more than 2,000 hits. There's not a lot.
There's not. And I'll give you a clue. They play on the same team and they bat back to back.
Jen says Bobby Witt. I think definitely eventually. He's a guy that I've been buying. He's my baseball card purchase right now. Aaron Judge is the other one.
Aaron Judge is number 1. Yeah.
And Juan Soto.
I mean, Bobby Witt, if he keeps going the way he's going, absolutely.
And Juan Soto.
Mm-hmm. And the rest are pitchers. Let's see. I have 1 starter, and I have 3 closers.
Clayton Kershaw.
No,
He is. I've looked at his number.
Yeah.
He's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Now the guy I have there is Max Scherzer.
Yeah, him too.
But you're right. And we'll see if you can bump one of these 3 closers out there for Kershaw, which true. Kershaw will probably be a Hall of Famer.
It's hard for closers to get in.
It is, but I think these 3 are getting in.
Who, Kimbrel?
Yeah.
I think every time he pitches, he takes the chances down.
It seems that way, but I mean he's number 3 on my list. I think he's getting in.
Okay. You have 2 more closers?
I have number 10 and number 9 are both closers.
Not Josh Hader.
No.
Klaus? Nah.
Emmanuel Clase. Well, if he keeps going this way, Jen, absolutely, Emmanuel Clase. Yeah. He might have his own separate wing of the Hall of Fame.
Right.
The way he's going.
Who am I missing here?
Currently a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Oh, Chapman?
Yeah.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
You don't think?
Had so many bad seasons.
Okay.
I have to see his numbers. I could be wrong. His ERA could be lower than I think, but how many saves does he have? He's been around a long time. Yeah, I'm looking up his stats. 259 ERA. I didn't think it was that low. How many saves? It's 326. Maybe if he gets to 400, but I don't think he will.
I don't think he probably isn't getting there.
Yeah, he does have really good numbers. 1,232 strikeouts and 751 innings.
Yeah, he was really good for a long time.
Yeah, I kind of saw his struggles more. Yeah, I guess even in his bad seasons, he was really good.
I know, and it always seemed like he started on a team, and if they weren't contending, he got traded. That didn't happen this year.
So he's a 7-time All-Star. All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. It could happen.
Right, we have one more. He was a Brave, he was a Dodger, and he's currently on the Red Sox.
Oh, really? What's his name? The guy that flew the playoffs against the Eagles. See his face. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah, Kenley Jansen.
Jansen. You think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's possible. Now, when you brought up Kershaw, I mean, yeah, Kershaw would bump one of those 2 off the list.
Yeah.
Probably Jansen.
I'm bringing up active hit leaders. I bet you Lindor is up there.
He probably is. He's having a great season, too.
How about Manny Machado?
Yeah, you're right. He's a guy who probably will be there one day as well.
I think we missed one obvious one, Mike Trout.
Well, I thought about that too, and I mean, obviously the numbers, but he's also the injuries. But yeah, I think Trout will be there. And as the set falls down here for Bobby Cash, we've reached.
I got my phone.
We've reached 9:00. Yeah, it's just the phone. Thank you, everybody.
Well, hold on. We don't have to get off exactly at 9. I want to go through a couple. We're going to talk about it after the show anyway.
Yeah, true.
Charlie Blackmon is actually 7th currently in hits. Carlos Santana, 1,768. Xander Bogaerts, Bryce Harper, Mookie Betts. I think he's one.
Yeah, he could be.
Christian Yelich. You believe who's 18th right now in active hits is Nick Castellanos.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not a great list. There's Lindor, 1476. Yeah, there's going to be some years where it's going to be tough to find a Hall of Famer because if you keep going down the list, Aaron Judge comes in at 55th. He only has 1,000 career hits.
Because you think with Miguel Cabrera ending last year, and you look over, I mean, it's in 4 more years. What's that? You know, the group.
I know there's not going to be a guy active with like more than like 1,500. Baseball's in trouble. They don't really have a young superstar right now besides Bobby Witt Jr. There's nobody. There's no face of the game.
4 to 10 years, they could be in trouble. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to push Ella Cruz from Cincinnati. Yeah, but you're right. I don't know when you think of it. I mean, obviously it's Ohtani is the face of the game.
But he's no young buck. No,
and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him when he comes back to pitch. How well he's healed.
Yeah,
because we see what he's doing offensively, but we've seen Bryce Harper have the same type of surgery and be able to come back and hit.
Right.
But we've never seen a guy come back and hit like
pitch
and then pitch.
I know.
But he'll probably be fine.
We'll find out. He'll probably be on some kind of innings limit, I guess, the first year. You would think.
Well, yeah, and if that affects his offense, you know, I don't mind seeing the Dodgers being affected by some things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, still, that's going to be an interesting division come down the end to see how Arizona does it too. I mean,
they're charging.
Yeah, you could.
Corbin Carroll is definitely back.
Yeah, last year you would have thought he'd have been one of the faces of the league as well.
I think he could still be. I mean, he's gotten his average up almost 50 points. He was hitting 180 he's hitting 230 now. The guy's he can play and he's hot. He's up to like 19 home runs. He had an inside the park home run the other night. He's on fire. That team's
he had, what was it? He had a grand slam, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Put him ahead in a game. That may have been off of Edwin Diaz too. I think.
Yeah, Mr. Trumpets.
Yeah, even though they've actually the Mets have been playing a little bit better and playing well, but then when you get the White Sox in there, so you know.
Right. Everybody gets those free wins.
Yeah. Well, we can argue next week over the NBA.
Okay.
Current players who are who one day could possibly wind up in the Hall of Fame. Taijuan Walker is coming back out for the 6th inning, and it's still 6-4.
They just have to chance it though. They can't just be happy with the 2 innings that he pitched.
Right.
They're going to have to leave him out there until he gives up 3 more runs, aren't they?
Well, here's the thing in Thompson's mind. Let's see if he can get through the lineup again. There was a couple base runners last inning.
Yeah, that's great. They let the Blue Jays see him another inning.
Yeah,
54 people joined us tonight. Thank you.
It's an interesting week this week for the Phillies too, because 2 in Toronto and then 4 in Miami.
Yeah, I mean at this point it's 500 baseball and you win the division. That's all you have to do is play 500.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, guys.
I think what I was going to say and what I think is interesting. I guess tomorrow is going to be Wheeler, and am I right? Or was Wheeler?
Yeah.
No, he was.
Should be.
No, Wheeler pitched Saturday, so it won't be him. That was a good game he pitched on Saturday. The Phillies winning 3-0.
Yeah, where are they at then? Sanchez?
Yeah, it's got to be. No, it's Ranger Suarez, right? Or no, Sanchez. It'll be Sanchez, and then Sanchez.
That's a mistake. You pitch him in Miami. He struggles on the road, especially against teams like that can hit the ball out.
Well, yeah, he'll pitch tomorrow, and then I guess Ranger will pitch game 1 in Miami. So,
well, let's hope Miami's not the normal morgue that it is, and they actually can get some electricity down there, and some Phillies fans show up for the game.
Boy, I saw a shot of I guess it was a day game in Chicago with the White Sox the other day. Someone said I counted 68 people in the stands. I mean, there was nobody there.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked like it was a practice. There was nobody there. It was amazing. Nobody went to the game. You would think, who were they playing? Were they playing a good team, or was it the Mets? No, it wasn't the Mets.
No, it was a day game. They may have been playing the Tigers. I'm not sure.
That's why.
But the funny thing is they can't even accidentally win a game.
It's amazing. They did.
Well, Walker putting up the 2-run home run, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
it
he had to do it. Yep.
It didn't work. I mean, like I said, nobody forfeits games like the Phillies. Nobody. It just.
I'm tweeting away, folks.
Yeah, we'll be available also for plenty of tweets on Friday night during the Eagles game. White Sox had an attendance of 17 one day last week. How'd they get 17 in there?
I don't know. Well, if you're not following us, follow us both. Follow me at Bobby Cash 215.
Chris Amos 717. Yeah.
Where's the graphic? Where's the graphic? I want the graphics next.
Follow me as well.
There
It's coming up. It's coming up. The graphic is funny. It's in the Flyers orange because we really didn't talk about. But I guess
follow our show at Philly Talk IE.
I guess yesterday they said it's and then counting today 40 days till the Sixers. So,
wow, they're going to be in training camp really soon.
Till that Milwaukee game. So yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Sir. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. 55 people. We appreciate you all coming in and spending an hour with us. And join us next week at 8:00 on Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. If you're listening to us elsewhere, we definitely appreciate it. Make sure you get your Planet Jerky. Make sure if you're sending out invitations, you got to seal it with Seal the Deal wax seals. You can't send it out without that. I mean, you want your invitation to stand out, so your event stands out. Good night, everyone.
Good night.